Welcome to the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight is on Northwest Community College, and you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Here's your host, Gary Darby.
We are going to talk all things Northwest Community College today. Let me tell you what we will have on the program on the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Pathfinder and student McGheyla Patron is going to be on with us. Talk about her experience as a student and things going on there in the education part of thing, what it's like to be a Pathfinder, this and that. We'll talk first and then go to the men's soccer coach, Michael Sullivan. Coach Sullivan will be on for the first time. We'll get a chance to meet Coach and an opportunity to find out how he plans to lead the men's soccer program and some of the early schedule and what he has seen out of his roster and the recruitment of his current Northwest soccer team with a lot of freshmen on that roster. We'll get with Coach Sullivan coming up at around 9:30 today. So McGheyla Patron will be on first, Michael Sullivan, the men's soccer coach, second. And then we will get you into some other things that will be going on in the world of athletics at Northwest. 5 new members to the 2022 Northwest Sports Hall of Fame and the Northwest Alumnus of the Year. I'll announce those things coming up on the program today. The number 4 Northwest football team is in action, and they will be in North Division play tonight. We'll tell you about that and the opponent and get you ready for Northwest football. The Rangers 3-0 on the young season with close wins over 3 teams out of the South, Mississippi Gulf Coast, Hines and Pearl River. Hines and Pearl River were both ranked number 14 in the country at the time Northwest won on the road there. Now it's a chance to take on Itawamba tonight. We'll talk about all of that coming up at the back end of the program. So we'll do that. The reminder with this music is we have to move on. 9:14 because I droned on a little bit about safety, and I will not apologize for that. We'll get into our guests next. We'll talk all things Northwest Community College today on a Thursday, September 22nd, 2022 edition of the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. How we doing, gang? It's the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Gary Darby with you between now and 10 this morning. We'll get you back into the full Super Talk world. Let you know what's happening with Gerard's program from 10 until 1. I'll get you that information a little bit later on. And we'll continue to talk about all things Northwest. Coming up later on in the program, we will hear from the men's soccer coach at Northwest, Michael Sullivan. We'll talk with him in the next segment, get an opportunity to do that and chat with him just a little bit. But now, kind enough to give us some time this morning is one of our students on the Northwest campus. She's a Pathfinder and student. McGheyla Patron is on the phone with me. I've rambled on enough. How are you?
I'm doing great today.
Excellent. It's a pleasure getting a chance to talk with you and get you on the show and discuss a few things about you, if you don't mind, and about your experience at NWCC and more. So give us a little background on you, kind of where you are from. Are you a North Mississippian? And then what got you on the campus of Northwest?
I am originally from Batesville, Mississippi. I come from South Nola High School. What made me come to Northwest because it was just a great community. I love the community, and I love the student-teacher ratio, and I came on tours with my school and by myself, and I just love that one-on-one time that I had the privilege to get. And Northwest it feels like home, and it hosts a lot of programs and opportunities that you can just grasp and whatever you may need. So I just love that about Northwest.
McGheyla, a lot of the students tell me also it was a financial decision, right? And the ability, whether it was to get scholarships or whatever it was, and be close to home, do everything you need to do with that student-teacher ratio and save on the pocketbook a little bit as well.
Oh, yes, sir. I got scholarships you apply right now, and they will help you with financial aid as much as they possibly can. Just talk, and they will be able to assist you in whatever you may need.
What is your major?
My major, I'm going to be a physical therapist.
Physical therapist. What drew you in? And obviously, and I've had several. We talked to people all throughout the science, well, all the academic portions of Northwest. That program is one of the very best that you could go right out of high school and be a part of. What drew you into that? Why do you think that's what you want to do when you get out of college?
I just love helping people and playing sports throughout life. I just love how the body works and anatomy and physiology. It just drew me closer, and being able to help people who are struggling in certain aspects, that drew me to just helping others. And Northwest will be able to help me in doing that.
What sports did you play?
Basketball, volleyball, track and field. I did it all throughout high school.
Did you have, which I like, right? I in fact coach a summer and a fall baseball team, and I like the fact that a lot of those guys are playing extra sports. And I know the high school coaches, the college coaches like that you do multiple things. By the way, I'm going to give a shout out. I got 4 South Panola juniors on my baseball team that I coach in the fall and in the June and in July. So we'll give a shout out all together to South Panola for bringing out great products all over the place like you. Which was your favorite? Was it basketball? Was it volleyball? Or did you like the track the best?
Basketball is my favorite. I'm actually a guard for the Northwest women's basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I've had an opportunity to come in to broadcast some of those games and streaming. Brian Lentz has brought me in, and I'm sure I'll be around. And when the basketball season comes back, I'll actually give you a face behind this voice that you had a chance to talk with me here today. And so I do look forward to that. Now, you're in Pathfinders too, is that correct?
yes, sir.
Well, what again, and I try and find out with each student that I have is, why do you think that's important for you too, to be in that organization which helps talk to other people like you to let them know what this college is like? It's a great resume building thing, but what got you into the Pathfinders?
Getting me into the Pathfinders, I just love that leadership role. And by being a Pathfinder, you're able to give advice and guidance to those around you. And we are student recruiters. We help give tours. We go to meetings and events and provide services wherever we may need. And then by us having our experiences as students, we're able to give other prospective students a view of what student life is as a Northwest Ranger. So I believe that it helps give them more reasons to come to Northwest.
What's next for you after Northwest? Do you have that plan, or are you just taking it one day at a time, play some basketball, make those grades, and get your stuff done there in Senatobia?
I am taking it one day at a time, but the dream is to go to 4-year and to finish out my classes and go to PT school in hopes and dreams of becoming a physical therapist.
Do you plan on staying in North Mississippi when that's done? Hopefully, I say, leaning you towards, yes, we need good people like you staying in this area and doing those kinds of jobs?
I love being in Northern Mississippi. It is in the works, but I believe that I will stay where home is at.
Excellent. That's good news to hear. Look, it's been a pleasure getting a chance to talk with you today. Next time you see Coach Laterrell Williams, you tell him Gary Darby said hello. He and I have known each other probably for more years than we would like to admit, but a great dude that's taken over that program, and I think you're going to enjoy being around him as well. It's been a pleasure getting a chance to talk with you today. I wish you the best of luck. Any message? Let's just say we have a mom and a dad of, a junior or senior that's in high school right now, or perchance we have, prospective students that are listening. What is the message that you would give to those people right now about Northwest Community College?
I would say to don't count Northwest out. If you have any questions, come take a tour, and me or one of the other Pathfinders will give you a tour personally. This is truly a great community to be a part of. You find yourself here. We have programs. We have clubs that you can join. Just be sure to come and talk to one of us, and we'll set you all up for Northwest.
Sounds great. I look forward to meeting you through basketball season, too, okay?
Yes, sir.
You have a good day.
All right, you too.
New friend of the program, McGheyla Patron, on with us from South Panola. Going to play a little basketball. She's doing the Pathfinders. She's doing a little bit of everything, and could be one of our physical therapists here in North Mississippi that you may visit. I may visit, knowing my knees and ankles and things of that nature throughout time. So we'll look forward to following. And another tremendous student giving us tremendous things. And I'm telling you, Northwest can be proud of what they have in their students. Look, we only get to get a few of them each and every year on this. I haven't been disappointed yet, and I'm sure you haven't either. They have definitely been great representatives of Northwest Community College. It is the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. We'll get to the halfway point of things next. And we're going to talk the men's soccer program with their first-year head coach, Michael Sullivan. That comes up on the other side.
This hour is Everything Northwest, your connection to Northwest Community College and powered by Sycamore Bank. Thanks for joining us on the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Join the conversation by texting 662-426-1093.
Well, as we move through in radio, sometimes we have to mix and match and do a few other things, and so we will get that opportunity to catch with Coach Sullivan here later in the program, and we'll reach out to him momentarily. But we have other news and things that we need to discuss that are going on first, and we'll get to that with you. As I mentioned, we have football game going on this evening, and we have an opportunity to talk about 5 new inductees into the 2020 Sports Hall of Fame. So let's get into those, and then we'll try and reach Coach Sullivan as he types at the same time, trying to get things working here on the program today. Okay. Northwest still number 4 in the country for the third straight week, I believe, in the latest NJCAA Division I football rankings. Those were released Monday afternoon as Northwest is off to a 3-0 start, which has a couple of wins over number 14 Hines and number 14 Pearl River on the road, as I mentioned. And now they will take that 3-0 record into the first of the Northern Division games, which will be against Itawamba tonight. That will be in Senatobia, Bobby Franklin Field, where, by the way, they're going to rededicate, I believe, to our man, Coach Franklin. Lots of new construction and things that went on, and now they'll honor him tonight. So if you are there and you can get there early and do things, lots of things will happen tonight there in Senatobia. Rangers and Itawamba. Itawamba's 1-2. They did pick up a win in their last game, I believe an overtime win over Northeast, 28-27. So they are 1-0 in the North portion of things, or in MACCC action. The Rangers are 42-26-1 all-time against the Indians and have won 4 of the last 6, but ICC's wins came in 2017 and 2019 when Northwest was in the top 5. And so here we are again with Northwest and Itawamba. From Bobby Franklin Field at 7 o'clock, the pregame coverage begins at 6:30 on Ranger TV with Tyler Springs and Facebook Live. So you can catch all of that. The top 4 continues with, the team that Northwest ran into in the football playoffs last year in the New Mexico Military Institute. Hutchinson, Kansas is number 2, and Iowa Western is number 3. The Mississippi schools are still there again. MACCC foes Jones and East Mississippi are in the top 10. Jones is number 5, right behind Northwest. East is number 8. Pearl River actually went up from 14 to 13 after Northwest beat them 21-14 on the road last week. And Coahoma out of Clarksdale, unbeaten and number 15 in the country. Amazing. What? Well, just saying those words. So Mississippi, again, loaded in the top 15. Northwest number 4. Jones number 5. East Mississippi number 8. Pearl River number 13. Coahoma number 15. And after playing Itawamba this week, Northwest has to travel to number 8 East Mississippi. So the schedule gets no easier. Then it's Mississippi Delta, number 15. Coahuma's on the road. Holmes and Senatobia, Northeast, and Boone will round out the schedule. So best of luck to Northwest tonight with lots of goings-on the Northwest campus. There's plenty of opportunity for you to do things there and get an opportunity to see them and the new facilities and everything that is done for Bobby Franklin and Bobby Franklin Field. Okay? So that's going on. Now to our new recipients, the ones that will be honored in this year's 2022 Sports Hall of Fame. They'll do this class on Thursday, October the 20th, as part of college's homecoming ceremonies. This year's inductees are senior inductee and former football standout Charles Barton. Barton played 64 and 65. Baseball star Paul Bakke. Boy, I remember Paul, 1984, 1986. I was on the campus at that time. Really good baseball player. Legendary men's and women's soccer coach Peter Jarjura. He was there for 10 years. Former women's basketball All-American Sarah Lytle, 2014-2016. And the all-time leading women's soccer scorer Jessica Yelvington Old, 2004-2005. And additionally, Northwest will recognize its alumnus of the year, Fred Carlisle. He was there from 74 through 76 as its ceremony, as well as the Golden Circle recognition for the class of 1972. The event will take place at the David M. Haraway Center on the Senatobia campus at 4, preceded by a reception at 3. So all of that going on coming up. We'll remind you more on that in October. 9:35, we're going to take a pause. We'll come back, see if we can't grab Coach now or possibly pull a magical interview out of the hat. We'll do a little something coming up next.
We're talking Rangers this hour. Thanks for joining us for the Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. It's a special conversation about Northwest Community College. There's a campus near you and more to come. And you can join the conversation by texting 662-426-1093.
Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. We're working together on a Thursday, and we've got the new soccer coach on the men's side, Michael Sullivan's on with us. Can I call you Sulli? That's what they put in the email.
Oh, yeah, everybody calls me Sully. Feel free.
All right, well, see, we haven't, I sometimes, especially if I haven't, met a person or know a person very well, sometimes I don't know if I should go ahead and call him his nickname now, but look, I put you on the spot, now I'm going to call you Sully, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah, no problem.
So we were talking about it and catching up on the phone and trying to get together on, the where you're from's and the things of that nature. So let's do that.
Right.
Background on you first, Michael Sullivan, where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm from Starkville, Mississippi. I was born and raised there. Played soccer there my whole life, club and high school, and then went on to play at ICC and finished up at State. And I started coaching in youth, got involved with college, and kind of here we are as far as the soccer background.
I have a few decades on you in life, I would assume. And at the time that I was going through high school, soccer, there were not any, there weren't really high school teams. There weren't club teams or things for someone who wanted to do it. I'm small of stature, had a lot of speed, and we would do it. And our actual baseball coach, would kind of say, it would help your feet, it will help your agility, it will help certain things. And so we would maybe play with a soccer ball, right? We would do some things, but didn't have the sport itself. And now Mississippi has embraced that sport, and in a big way. And then for 4 years, I lived in Huntsville, Alabama, and it is amazing what is in the soccer world there in that city, and watching some unbelievable events there. Has the state of Mississippi progressed enough in the world of soccer? Is it getting where a coach like you can pick and choose some premier athletes to put on your team and to make you a winner at Northwest Community College?
Oh, there's no question there. I mean, obviously I think everything can improve, but I think that Mississippi as a whole has put together, I know there's 4 or 5 very large clubs across the state that, they're going to produce players, and they're really well-organized clubs, and a lot of them have a lot of quality coaches at the youth level, which, is very important because it gets players to the point in which they need to be at by the time they get ready to go to college. So, when they do get to college, it's more of about kind of moving pieces around. Of course, you're there to develop, no doubt, to go on to a 4-year in the JUCO world. But it's really become an environment where it can really be more tactically focused in the college level, and that's due to the different clubs across the state being able to develop players young. And so I think it's been a large improvement over the past, say, 10 years.
I did that and tried to get that answer to lead you into your first roster as the head coach at NWCC. It's a lengthy roster. You've put together a long roster with a lot of freshmen that are in there. Can you just kind of discuss building that roster as a first-year head coach and kind of what you were looking for when you did that?
Well, so the roster that I have on hand right now, I actually did not build that roster.
Oh.
I got here right before the season started, and, that this roster is kind of what I've got. And I love the boys. They're a great group of boys, and it's a great roster. And I've got nothing but faith in how they're going to develop through the season. But for the future, my rosters that I'm trying to put together are basically going to be, I love to use the term culture kids.
Yeah. Or
culture players. So we got to find people that really are going to fit the culture. Obviously, you want to be able to recruit players that can play. I mean, there's no question. But I think the larger picture is recruiting players that are going to fit the culture. Because if you don't do that, then you could have you could end up having a bunch of really skilled players or really good players, but just not everybody's kind of on the same page. And I really think that's very important. And I think that's something that we need to focus on as far as recruiting and getting players together in the years to come.
Coach Beatty has been on from the women's soccer side several times. Have you talked with him about things like this?
Oh, yeah. Me and Beatty, our offices are right next to each other. We talk to each other almost every day. And so I think we would both agree that culture is a very significant factor here at Northwest Community College. We want to be able to, the culture that's established, we want to be able to keep improving it, and we want to be able to, let people know what our brand and what our culture really is.
I think at the time I had him on, it was the first maybe week of September, when they had outscored the opponent in 3 matches, 29-0, and I think there had only been like 10 shots on goal by the opponent in those 3 games. It's nice if you can just keep attacking, right, the other team, and they have no answer for you, right? That's good coaching on his part, right?
Right? Yeah, no, 100%. It's a good thing to have going for you in a game.
So let's talk about, not necessarily wins and losses from your perspective of this first season.
Right.
But as the head coach, what are you looking for as the schedule continues, coming up tomorrow against number 6 Pearl River, which is in Setachobia, and then you continue. You'll have another nationally ranked team, probably or 2 by the time it's done, because just like every sport, Mississippi is loaded with great talent. What is Coach Sullivan looking for in year number 1?
I'm looking for the boys to buy into what we're trying to do culturally, and I'm looking for the boys to buy into being competitive, and making sure that it's 100% giving everything we've got in order to fulfill the goals that we're trying to reach. And I really want to make sure that we understand what it means and what it means to fight and how we fight through different problems that we're going to face throughout the season. If we can face problems and get better by dealing with those problems, then I am 100% satisfied, because that means we're growing. And I don't think that you can ask for anything more than growth.
Tell us about facilities and things and what you like about recruiting that guy to that culture and the things that, Dr. Heindel and the company are giving you there at NWCC.
Yeah, so the facilities here are absolutely immaculate. I get here and we cut the ribbon on a brand new facility, and it's almost overwhelming coming in. This is my first head coaching job, and being a younger coach, you come in and you got a second-story office looking over your big, gigantic soccer field, and you kind of have to sit there and take it in. And you're here to work, obviously, but what Dr. Heindel and other people that are part of our administration, and I'm sorry, I'm going to miss some names there,
sure,
but what they've been able to do here is just incredible. I mean, even outside of athletics, you look at the performing arts building that we're building here right across from Howard Coliseum, and that's just another example of how far Northwest is willing to go to provide different opportunities for not only student athletes, but more so traditional students. I think it's a really great place to be, and it's definitely a growing place to be.
Talking with Michael Sullivan. Sulli, our friend, the new men's soccer coach at NWCC, and we'll get him back on, I'm sure, maybe at the end of the season or next year when we're actually focusing on the goals of a win and a loss and the playoffs and those. And I know you've got them now. Don't get me wrong. I know that the goal is to go out there tomorrow and knock off Pearl River. I get that. But as a first-year guy, I basically wanted to get you to show us the mold and show the plan of what you wanted for your guys and moving forward. And I really appreciate you finding some time to do this today. What will be your today when you get there? Because I know we have home football coming up that we got to be prepared for and do things, and you have your match tomorrow. What's going to be your day and the soccer team's day, as well as, obviously, attending a class or two? That's kind of important.
Right. Definitely very important. But yeah, so obviously the day's got to start off with coffee. I'm going to go ahead and put that out on the board. But so we got the coffee in the system. But today we're basically going to break down some ideas that we've got going into the Pearl River game, and we're going to try and make sure that we establish exactly what it is that we want to get done in that game. And that will start in our film room, which is another facility, that we talked about earlier, and it's got a gigantic bay window over the soccer field. So that's cool to have that talk there. And then we'll start off about 1 o'clock and go through our training session with different various coaching points that I want to try to hit on and kind of prepare us for in that game coming up tomorrow. And then busy night with Northwest football. So we're all going to get out and attend and go support and get some good cheers in.
It's one big family. There's no doubt about it. Every sport supporting the other. Yeah.
Exactly. No question on that one.
Look, my friend, it's nice talking with you on the phone for the first time. We'll get face-to-face at some point and have you back on the program talking more about men's soccer and starting to see you out on the pitch and doing some good things soon.
Oh, yes, sir. I'd love to talk to you more.
All right, buddy. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
That's our new friend Sulli, men's soccer coach Michael Sullivan on the program. Your Sycamore Bank Ranger Hour. Good stuff. Trying to get the program and move it in his direction. I like the talk of the culture. I like the talk of what he would like to do and how he wants to go about it. He gets on the field tomorrow in Senatobia, in that field that we were talking about, taking on number 6 Pearl River, looking for the first Mississippi win of the season. They've already played who was at that time number 6 Jones and East Central. He gets number 6 Pearl River tomorrow. A Tuesday home match against Hines, and finishes up September against Holmes. And then it's number 10 Mississippi Gulf Coast, and it continues with some South Division teams, South Mississippi teams along the way. We wish the guys the best of luck. getting some wins in their pocket and building that program at NWCC. Women's soccer, I mentioned them. They took their first loss of the season to number 5 Jones on Friday in Ellisville, 1-0, and then tied in 2 overtimes, number 17 East Central on Tuesday. They're in action tomorrow in Senatobia as well, number 16 Pearl River. So you get a little double dip action going on at the complex there. How about that, right? And the Northwest women are ranked in soccer as well, and their schedule has given them, in their first 3 conference games, number 5 Jones, number 17 East Central, and number 16 Pearl River. Still to go, number 4 Holmes. That's still in the schedule, plus other very tough teams throughout. So that's all happening in the world of sports as well in the Northwest world. Volleyball has been in action. They've had a nice little tour and doing things, all of it happening on the Northwest campus, and we encourage you to attend and be a part of it however you can. Thanks to McGheyla Patron for being on with us, student at Northwest Community College in the physical therapy world, a Pathfinder, and women's basketball player, all at the same time. Making the good grades, bringing the other youngsters into the Northwest Community College world, and talking with us about things. And then Michael Sullivan joining us from the men's soccer program. We thank you. However you're a part of this program, listening on Supertalk 93.7, whether you're streaming us somewhere, supertalk.fm, Supertalk North MS, the Alexa device, and always you can text message to the litcometals.com studio, 662-426-1093. Follow me on Twitter at gdarb65, or find the old Facebook page, North Mississippi Spotlight with Gary Darby. I'm done, boys and girls. Enjoy Thursday. We talk Friday at 9:06. So long.